Okay, I did try to film this same exact video in another location. It didn't go well. Okay, I understood all of those things. Okay. It was really awkward sitting up in there, so I'm somewhere else where I feel like I can confidently speak. Like, it was echoing in there. It was really, like, uncomfortable. I feel like in this chair, it's giving, like, medieval times, like, vampire, like I'm in, what's that movie? That, like, cartoon vampire movie. Hotel Transylvania. I feel like that's what this chair is giving. No? Just me? Do we notice anything different? Do we notice anything different? Any new changes? Go once. Okay, well, if you didn't notice anything different, I got a new tattoo. Roll the clip. Roll the clip.
Take a look at that.
I love it. Yay. Low-key? Okay, yes I did. I got a new tattoo. I would low-key rate the pain, like, if I had to, since I know all of y'all want to know. I would rate it honestly like a 5 out of 10. Almost like leaning to 6 out of 10. Like a 5.5, I guess. Because, okay, this tattoo that I have on the back of my arm, it was like light work, easy breezy, beautiful, bro. It just did not hurt that much. But this was also a girl that did it, and this was a guy that did it. Not to be like whatever you want to call it, not to be anything, but I feel like the guy low-key went deeper than the girl. And I mean, like, when I say deeper, I mean that man, he was in my skin. But he ate with the line work, like everything ate, but it did like hurt more than the girl did. So yeah, I feel like I've never really like opened up and talked about my faith on my channel, and I think the hesitation that I did have in talking about Christianity and my faith and like my walk with Christ, I felt like me talking about it, I watch a lot of Christian influencers, and I feel like, oh my gosh, I think I have a mosquito bite on my leg. Christian influencers that I watch, the way that they are like educated with the Bible, I feel like they know a lot more than me. In my head, I'm like, oh, they're at the level of like where they can talk about like Christianity and source it to, like, they say a certain thing and then they automatically have like a scripture in their head that relates to like the situation. And then for me, I feel like in certain situations, yes, I am at that point where I can say like, oh, like in the Bible it says yada yada yada. But when they literally can like be like, Hebrew 4 this says blah blah blah. Like, I'm not at that point yet. I guess for me, it was really hard to come and talk about my faith or like videos discussing my beliefs and everything, just because I was like, I don't want to lead people the wrong way, because I'm kind of new to reading the Bible, so I didn't want to say all of these things and then people like misinterpret it. For me, okay, I grew up Christian. In my household, I was like raised Christian. Christian was all that I knew when I was younger. I danced at my church. I sung at my church. I was very like heavily involved in my church. But people would ask me like, what do you believe? I would say like, oh yeah, I'm Christian, you know, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. But that was like the extent of it. I don't really think that I ever really had a relationship with God at all, really. Like, I didn't read the Bible. Yes, I prayed occasionally, but I don't really ever think that I had a relationship with God, because I'm now realizing what it means to have a relationship with God. And I was only really like surrounded by God when I went to church. Like, any other day of the week, I would just be like, okay, you know, like, I don't, like, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, you know, not really caring about anything else. But then like on Sunday, I'd be like, okay, like for this time period, I'm gonna like focus on God and the Word. But then even then, when I was in church, when I was a kid, babe, I was like talking to my friend. I was going to church literally to see my friends. And then I was dancing in my church because I wanted to dance. Like, none of it was really because of like God. And I never really noticed that. Like, in my head, I was like, okay, I'm saved, you know, I give my life to Christ. Like, I was just saying these things because I was not really like giving my life to Christ. I was not actually following God and like actively trying to like get to know him more and reading my Bible and getting into the Word and all of that. Like, I wasn't doing any of those things. I was just going to church and that's it. But I'm gonna be vulnerable with y'all for a second. Can I do that? Are we at that level yet where I can actually like open up to you guys? I've told my close family this, but I've not told anyone else this in this much detail. So, you know, I'm really gonna go for it. Also, like right now, literally an entire photo shoot is going on right in front of me. Like a whole wedding photo shoot. Like, you probably see the flashing right now. Like, I'm really filming in public. Really filming in public? Really filming in public. Okay. I think I am gonna pause the video for a second and let the photo shoot go on, and then I will open up to y'all in a second. But okay, I don't think the flashing is in radius anymore. But yeah. Okay, so when I went to California, if y'all do not know me, before I started this YouTube channel, I had another YouTube channel that was interesting. And I had gone to California for like 10 months, very spontaneously and unexpected. And the entire time I was kind of running away. I didn't know that at the time, but I was running away from all of my responsibilities of like being an adult, because I mean, I had like freshly just gotten out of high school. I turned 18. I was stressing out because I was like, oh my gosh, my life is not together. Like, I'm not going to college. There was just a bunch of things that was going on. And there was like a lot of like household drama within like my relationships with everyone, like friendships, family ships, all of like relationships with just everybody. And I kind of was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave. So I was like, I'm gonna pursue content creation in California, and the problems are gonna go away because, you know, I'm gonna leave the problems where they stand, not realizing that, you know, I was the problem and I was taking me with me wherever I go. So like me taking me over there is just gonna have like the problem's still gonna be there. It's just gonna arise in like a different person or a different situation, but the problem's still gonna come up in the same way. And that is what happened. And it's not only what happened, it's like worse than what I imagined. So when I got there, I would say like a month in, I started drinking, and then I started smoking, all in like the month of me being there. Maybe a few weeks, honestly. I think a month is kind of pushing it. I'm giving myself some grace here. But I had been drinking and smoking for like the first months that I was there. It was like very intense. Like every party I went to, I was drinking, smoking something, doing something. Every single party I went to, everyone. And that was like completely unlike me, and every single time I left, I felt like, what am I doing here? And like, who am I? And because I was never that kind of kid. Like maybe like in high school, I had like a shot. I think in my whole like middle school, high school, whatever, I had like one singular shot, and I had thought that I like murdered someone. I was like, bro, this is the worst thing that I could ever done. I thought I turned my whole life around from that one shot. And then I like in like 6th grade, I like vaped once. Did it again at some point in high school, and I thought that was like those occurrences that happened. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going broke. This is big, guys. Someone stop her, hold her down. Like, I thought I was being crazy with those few little instances. But then when I got to California, that's when it really like was like, oh my gosh, like what am I doing? Like, I didn't even want to tell my family. I didn't tell my family, and every single night I was like ashamed and like regretful. And I remember at one point in time, like people used to ask me like, do you regret any part of your life, or like is there anything that you like wish you could turn back time and to the good old days? But would you change anything if you were to go back in time? Is there anything that you would want to change? I used to say no. I used to say that the me now wouldn't be the me that I'm supposed to be if I didn't do those things. And all of those things have brought me to the me that I am now. And I love the me that I am. I used to say that every single time anyone asked me, did I regret anything? And at that time, when someone asked me, did I regret something, I almost like teared up. Because I was like, dang, I think I really do regret the person that I've become. Like, the people that know me that are from California, they're going to be like, girl, you were not even doing that much. But to me, I just felt like it wasn't me, and it wasn't my character, and it wasn't something that I would ever do. So it was like so much for me and so shocking for me. But I think it really taught me how sheltered I was, because in my house, I was never like exposed to alcohol. And even though like I could go out with like certain people and they would let me experiment if I wanted to, I always did say no. But like if I really wanted to get drugs or do alcohol or do anything, like it was all accessible, because everyone in my high school had something. So it was like accessible, but it wasn't accessible in my home. And when I was in California, like it was accessible in the house. So I guess it was a little different than I expected. For the last like few months that I was in California, I was leaning very heavily on God. I'm not going to be this kind of person. Like, this is not the person that I am. This is not the person that I want to be. And I'm not going to be this person. Like, at any point, I could turn my life around and be the person that I want to be, and be the person that I am and that I know myself to be. So, for the last few months, I didn't drink at all. I didn't smoke at all. I didn't do anything. And then I came to the realization that I wanted to come back home, because if I'm being honest, the problems that I once saw at my house. I was starting to see when I was in California, and I was running away again, where I was like, oh, I don't like these problems, I don't like these issues, so I'm just gonna leave again. I got on a plane, I left, and then when I got back home, I kind of was in a huge spiral of like, what have I done with my life? That was like my thought process. The regret was like coming back again in like a bigger form, I guess. And even though I knew that God loved me and God forgave me, I still was stuck on it, and I still wasn't moved on from it because I couldn't believe what I did. I was just so like, what the heck? So I think I went to church one day, and the pastor was talking about like, if you don't understand God's love, you're not going to get the rest of the message. And I was like, okay, like, tell me more. But at the same time, in my head, I was already like, I already know God's love. I already know he loves me regardless of everything that I've done. Like, I already know it. So it's like, I was like, I understand God's love. Like, you don't gotta tell me. But the way that he put it changed my perspective of life, to put it simply. He said, before you were created, God knew you. He was like before you were on this earth, before you were you, God knew you. So all of the things that you have done, all of the things that you are going to do in the future, God already knows. And the you that you are supposed to be and created to be and made to be was like taken into consideration with all of the stuff that you were going to do. And God still chose to love you and die for you and care about you. And for me, I don't know why that was so freeing. For so long, I had been holding this like again over my head, where I was like, all of the stuff that I've done, like, he can forgive me. And even though like I know he forgives me, I don't forgive me for these things. So if I don't forgive me, like, how can God forgive me? Or like, humans' love is so finite. What is it? Finite? Humans' love is so conditional. We'll say that. Like, okay, yeah, I love you, but if you do something to me, or if you like hurt me in a wrong way, or if you talk to me a certain way, like, girl, I may not love you anymore. So I think that like it's hard for our head to wrap around the fact that like God, despite all of the things that we do to turn away from him, he still chooses to love us. Like, that was hard for me to wrap my head around. But when it was put in the sense of God created me knowing I was going to do all of the things that I was going to do. So it would almost be like I'm calling God like oblivious or ignorant to think that like I'm shocking him with the things that I'm doing. Like, it's like when I was doing all of those things that I did, he already knew that I was going to do them before I even did them. So it's like I'm the only one that shocked in the situation. So when I thought about it like that, it really like changed my perspective. I already knew the information, but the way that it was phrased and the way that he said it, like, really just made me understand it. And if you haven't seen the message, I'll link the message actually down below of like what he said, because I honestly think it was a transforming, life-changing message. Like, I told it to my mom, my friend, my cousin, my everybody. Like, everybody I told that message. Right after I got out of church, I told like 8 people about what church was about. I was like, girl, y'all need to hear this. So I will link it below. As far as this tattoo, it just means so much to me because I knew that I was going to get a Christian related tattoo at some point. That was my intention anyways. And then when my brother, for his birthday, was going to get a tattoo, I was like, bro, we could be twinning, and I want it anyways. And so yeah, Jesus has really like saved my life in so many ways. Just thinking about how much he has done for me and brought me through is crazy to me. Every day I learn more and more about like the world and him and the Bible and like how things are meant to be and created, and I'm just like in awe. Like, I used to, when I was a kid, think I knew everything. Like, when I was like 17, I was like, bro, I'm talking to 40-year-old adults. I'm light years ahead of their kind of thinking. Like, I'm the one that's thinking right. And now I'm like, bro, I thought I knew something, and every single day my eyes get like opened to another thing that I didn't know, and I'm like, what? Like, my mind is blown every single day. Every day. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. I am so happy that I'm at a place where I feel like I can actually talk about my faith openly without like feeling like almost like embarrassed, or I'd be like hesitant to talk about my faith. But anyways, I love every single one of y'all. I hope you learned a little bit more about me through watching this. And I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. Bye. Lauren out.